An update on Project Esther. Okay, just saw it. You gotta see this. Wow.
Oh, you thought Project 2025 was scary, but you haven't heard about Project Esther yet, have you? While we've all been distracted worrying about Project 2025 and looking at statistics to see how much of it has actually come to fruition at this point, back in October of 2024, the Heritage Foundation submitted Project Esther, and I'm telling you, it's 1,000 times worse than Project 2025 could ever dream of. Project 2025 is just the beginning of this manifesto. And making a comparison, The Handmaid's Tale, that was the first book. The 6 seasons we watched, that was the first book. There are others. Just like Project 2025 was the prologue to what's about to happen with Project Esther. Reading Project 2025, it spoke very clearly about eradicating all religions from the United States. There will only be one God and one Bible, and it will be forced upon you. It is forced practice of religion. You will not be allowed to speak of any other God. You will not be allowed to read any material outside of that Bible. And if you try to practice anything outside of what you are forced to practice, they will imprison you and put you to death. Project Esther also speaks about surveillance. They want us having something inside of our bodies that is implanted, where the government knows our whereabouts, knows our medical history, our heart rate, our sugar, everything on a 24/7 basis. It talks about suppression, ladies. It talks about the fact that we are no longer considered people. We are the property of our husbands, meaning we no longer can drive, vote, have a bank account, go grocery shopping, wear what we want, have our hair the style that we want it. We are forced to be the property of our husbands. And women, it speaks about sterilization. It speaks about when women are born, when girls are born, being immediately sterilized after birth. And when you become of age to have a baby, they will grow said baby in a lab and implant it in you so that they can have the white male child that they want for this Project Esther to come to fruition. According to Project Esther, there is no more LGBTQI+. It's gone. It's eradicated because there are no more lesbian and gay people in the United States. That's right. If you're male and you're gay, you have an opportunity to become straight. And if you choose not to become straight, then you will be put to death immediately. And women, they don't really give a fuck if you're a lesbian or not because you still have a working womb. So you'll be forced to marry a man anyway, and oh well, just deal with it. Project Esther isn't just a legislative plan. It's a theological plan as well, with roots in dominionism. And if you don't know what that means, it means having control over all living things, human beings, plants, animals. It means that as a man, you control everything like a god. It states very clearly in Project Esther that it has been written to replace the Constitution of the United States with biblical law. That is the whole purpose of Project Esther. Criminalization of abortion with death penalty being the reward will be a national thing for all of us. It won't matter state by state anymore what your governor and your senators say. As a nation, abortion will be criminal and you will be put to death. All public and private schooling will be completely eradicated. All children will be homeschooled through religion. And the best part, chat, for anybody who resists, for anybody who defies this particular law, there are re-education camps to repurpose your brain, to make you more compliant and willing to be a servant of Project Esther's law. By the way, none of this is written in code. I'm not assuming or coming up with ideas based off what I read. No, this is quite literally how it's written. Very, very, very blunt for all of us to completely understand what we're about to face. Project Esther, like Project 2025, was written by the Heritage Foundation, so it's obviously backed by Christian nationalists. But it is so deeply rooted in white supremacy and Nazi rhetoric that it literally makes my skin crawl. And if it doesn't make your skin crawl, I need you to go right ahead and run this shit back and listen to what I said again.
Okay. Yeah. So everything that the prophets have been standing on street corners, risking their freedom, their lives, their livelihood, their job, everything, their family, to tell you exactly what this woman just told you on this video. Okay? You ignore. You drive right on past. You don't inquire at the mouth of the Most High God. You don't inquire at the prophets. You don't ask questions. You just drive right on by. You don't give a shit. Right? Because it doesn't apply to you. It doesn't affect you right away. When it does happen, not if, when, okay, what are you going to do? How will you hide your sins before the Most High God and His angels? As it is written in 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 66. What are you going to do? You going to look for the prophets? How's that going to work? Let's go find out. Because it's not going to work. All right. Let's see. Yeah. So, get off my phone. Yeah, that's crazy. But, yep, that's what's going to happen. Nothing can be done about it. Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rahawah Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well, as it is written in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 17. Peace salutations to the hopeful elect that have been scattered abroad, that look like the heathen, the Israelite foreigners, because in order to be an Israelite, you can't be a spiritual Israelite without being an Israelite in the flesh, as it is written in Romans chapter 9, verse 3 and 4. Also, there's no such thing as a spiritual Israelite unless you're an Israelite to start with, according to the flesh, according to your body, and according to your seed line. Okay? This is a family bloodline inheritance. Nothing more. Okay? And the only people that are going to receive salvation are the elect in that family that have been handpicked and chosen out of that family. That particular seed, that peculiar people on the face of the earth who are Israelites. Okay? Only those individuals shall receive salvation, because those individuals fear the Most High and think upon His name, as it is written, right? Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. They also have another video. I was watching Brother Aishayar at GMS All Precepts 144 on his channel. And I was seeing the video. They've got a TikTok video where they say that they're going to, shut down the internet as far as YouTube is concerned. So you won't be able to find these videos. Let's see if I can find that for you right quick. Hold on. Because I went to the Brother Arrows of Indignation's channel to see what was going on. Yeah, I think this is it. Here, check this out.
So YouTube is now asking everybody to upload their driver's license to make sure that there's an age verification. Spotify is doing the same. Now, think about this for a second. They want you silenced. They just knock on your door. They don't even have to look you up. They already have all your information. They want to do it to protect the children. Like, share, and repost this as many times as you can. Share with your friends. This is ridiculous. It's in the Constitution. We have the freedom of speech. I understand that there's a child video problem. Get rid of it. You guys haven't gotten rid of it yet. When are you going to start getting rid of it? The whole internet's supposedly full of it if you just look for it. But you want my driver's license? Come on. This is out of control. This is like the book 1984. This is crazy. What are you guys thinking? How are we going to stop this?
Starting August 13th, people in the U.S. are going to have to submit their ID to watch YouTube. Mark my words, being anonymous online is coming to an end. In the near future, if you want to fully access the internet, you'll need to fully identify who you are behind the screen. It sounds dystopian now, but it's where we're headed.
Mark my words, we're about to watch our freedom of speech go down the drain. YouTube will now be asking you to upload your identification for age verification. So they're basically saying if the AI feels that you are younger than the appropriate age, they'll ask you to upload your identification. And they're going to do the same thing with Spotify, but then it's going to start to roll over to other apps. Right now in other countries, they're doing the same exact thing. But this is where it gets wicked, right? See, we've learned that when they tell you one thing, they're planning something else behind it. And imagine this. You upload your identification. There's a breach. Well, at least they say there's a breach. And they trying to put it off on data hackers. Because that's what they will say, but that will be a lie. They will basically be monitoring everything that you do on these apps, on these platforms. And if you say the wrong thing, they'll silence you. Think about how China is on a point system. If you do the wrong thing, you might not even be able to spend your own money. And that shit gets deep in itself. Because you might voice your opinion on a topic on social media, and they might feel it's wrong. And this rabbit hole gets very, very deep. Think about this. YouTube is one of the biggest search engines on the planet right now. Think about what they can do if they have your actual identification, face, place, everything. See, that's going over a lot of people's heads. It's going to cause a lot of problems. Mind you, YouTube has been here forever. Why would they start asking for identification now? This is bigger than children just getting on the internet. The voice you have could cause a lot of problems once they have access to all of that information. Trust me. Or don't.
Will you need ID to watch YouTube? Yes, even in the U.S., starting on August 13th, 2025. If AI thinks you're under 18, you might have to provide an ID for full access. In a move that mirrors the ID verification laws that have recently taken effect in the UK and EU countries, YouTube has announced that it will use AI to determine whether a viewer is 18 or older, purportedly based upon their viewing habits. If the AI works as advertised, then adult users won't even know that it's there, purportedly. But if the algorithm gets it wrong, users will have YouTube's nanny controls activated automatically, resulting in restrictions on what they can watch. Misidentified users then have the option to provide proof of their age by way of supplying a valid credit card or government-issued ID. Supporters claim this will help shield children from harmful content and fight so-called misinformation. But privacy advocates note that the duty to protect our children from online threats rests with the parents and not big business. They've labeled these plans as a Trojan horse designed to usher in social credit scoring and license for the internet schemes to limit free speech.
See what I mean? So, like I said before, the famine of the word is coming. Ain't nothing we can do about it. Okay? So, like I said before, the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is doing this on purpose. Okay? It's just it's a time for to bring all of these things to an end, right? Amos chapter 8, verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. In that day shall the young fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Thirst for what? To hearing the words of the Most High God. To hear the truth. Okay? The Most High is just, it's where is that? Ecclesiastes 3. Yeah. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Right. Verse 6. A time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak. So this is a time to keep silence, right? Okay, verse 9. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? Right? We don't know if, we got the word out. The word has gotten out to the four corners of the earth. That is written in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 2. Wrong chapter. Okay, that's 2. That's fine. Let's see. Isaiah, where was I at? Isaiah 2:13, verse 2. Okay. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, and the high mountain is America. Okay, what makes America high is the tariffs, the ability to go from continent to continent, stealing people's natural resources and coming up with these fallacies and mistruths with misinformation to back it up in order to, lord it over the people that they're trying to steal natural resources from. The high mountains in the biblical context are major governments. Hills, valleys, and rivers are smaller governments and vassal states to those smaller governments as well as the larger ones. Okay? Lift ye up a banner, and that banner is the Holy Bible. Basic instruction before leaving earth. Bible. Right? Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Right? Like it tells us to do in Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Right? Shake the hand that they may go in unto the gates of the nobles. And we shook the hand. We shook your hand using the internet, as it is written for us to do in Psalms chapter 19, verses 1 through 4. The internet, the unicorn, right? So this is how we're able to get all of the information that we've accumulated concerning Esau, Edom, and his wicked imaginations and wicked schemes and plots against the citizens of the free world, the entire planet, in order to control you and control every movement that you make, like the young lady had said earlier in the video, under Project Esther. Okay? And it's crazy, but that's exactly what they're doing, man. So we made this information going into the gates of the nobles. Now these devils are afraid now. Okay? Let's go to, where was it? Was it Wisdom of Solomon? Yep. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, verse 1. Right? Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Right? There's a video that I had put up on my channels, because I have 2 channels, but I had put up on my channels about the Israeli lobbyists that run the United States, that tell Donald Trump what to do, what to say, what executive orders to sign. Okay? The same thing that the young lady was speaking about. Okay? And sign all of these executive orders, which is unrighteous decrees and wickedness that they prescribe. Right? They're troubled with terrible fear. And they're they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond all that they look for. And the amazement that they're going to see, and because of the strangeness of our salvation, is because we're going to be saved by the chariots of the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, moved out of the way. Okay? Now, the strangeness, of their salvation so far beyond all that they look for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. Proverb of reproach, for example. Here's one. Want to hide something from a nigger? Put it in a book. Right? Does that make it sound? Does the algorithm think that I'm under 18? What the fuck? Okay? Okay, I'm 56, 57 years old. Okay, so no, I'm not 18. How's that? Leave my channel alone. I'll just say all my videos are for individuals 18 and above. No problem from now on. That's the clearest way to fix that. Okay, that way they can leave you alone. You can continue to get the truth out, you know, unabated, without these devils. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. You know, our women are out there pussy popping. Our young men are out there shooting each other down in the street. Okay, all set up by the Willie Lynch doctrine. Okay, you know, because in early slavery, when they started bringing us over here against our will in the late 1600s, early 1700s, you know, there was a lot of us that had never been enslaved, and we were bucking up against these slave owners, taking their women, cutting their throat, burning their fields. Okay, you know, because what the fuck, man? We were trying to get back to the ocean and get on a boat and go back home. Okay, at that time. Okay, so all these people were in the way. Alrighty, they decided to go back overseas and consult with other individuals that had already had slaves and had been enslaving people for decades up until that point in time. Okay, and came up with the Willie Lynch doctrine, turning the black, or the not the black man versus the light-skinned Negro versus the dark-skinned Negro, turning the woman against the man in the relationship, turning the man against the woman in the relationship, turning the house Negro versus the field Negro. Okay, all of this type of shit in order for them to perpetually hate each other. And right to this day, our people hate themselves. They don't want the truth. They don't want accept the truth. They simply accept the reality in which they live, and that's to their detriment. But we try to tell them by becoming a light, okay, on a hill, as the Most High had sent His only begotten Son to instruct us to do here in these last days, you know. But they won't listen. Like it says in, let's see, I think it's Job. Hold on, Job chapter 10. Right? Verse 21. Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. And the land of darkness and the shadow of death is America. It's the shadow of death for the Israelites. Right? A land of darkness as darkness itself, and the shadow of death without any order, where the light is as darkness. And this is what they're doing. They're using the internet. They're using all these informational super platforms. What is it? Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, Messenger, Facebook, Meta, whatever. Okay, as to weaponize it against the people, in order to try to herd them into a situation and change the circumstances to where they have to make a detrimental choice. You see? Now, you heard what the young woman said about Project Esther earlier in the video. You know, they're talking about the NOAHIDE laws. By implementing the NOAHIDE laws, okay, the 7 laws of Noah, okay, they can actually decapitate you. Okay, that's the major form of punishment. And Donald Trump had already said that he was going to bring back capital punishment. Let me see if I can find that video. Let me see. Donald Trump speech concerning capital punishment. Come on. Okay. Misspelled it. Sorry about that. Damn, that's there's one. There's another one. There's another one. Okay. Donald Trump calls for death penalty.
Get up. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. Get up. And I'm hereby...
Mr. President, sports fans have been very supportive to go back to
Yeah, whatever, man. Okay. Let's see.
Hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
Okay. That's what he's doing, man. Okay, he's calling for the death penalty. You know, that's just straight up crazy. But under the NOAHIDE laws,
On the illegal immigrants that will be taken out of the country, as you know, we're going to be taking them out, and if they come back, we have laws that will be immediately enacted where they serve 10 years in prison. They won't come back, and if that's not long enough, we'll have to do something else. But we don't want them back. They're not going to come back. And as you know, we're asking for the death penalty for any migrant who comes into our country and kills an American citizen or a police or law enforcement person.
okay. Death penalty for drug dealers. Okay. Executive order requiring mandatory death penalties. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that one. I was trying to find that one where he said, okay, death penalty for drug dealers. What's this?
The ultimate penalty has to be the death penalty. Now, maybe our country's not ready for that. It's possible. It's possible that our country's not ready for that. And I can understand it, maybe. Although personally, I can't understand that. But there are people that are good people, that are strong, smart people. And they would differ with most of us. But I think unless you do that, unless you have really, really powerful penalties led by the death penalty for the really bad pushers and abusers, we are going to get nowhere. And I'm telling you, we are going to get somewhere.
Okay. I'm telling you, man. This is the cruel motherfucking Lord, man. Ain't nobody else is thinking about that. And all we were trying to do is be a light on a hill for our people in order to fully persuade them, if we could, in the spirit, to fear the Most High God, keep His commandments to the best of your ability, and rehearse the righteous acts, okay, which are found in the book of Exodus, the book of Leviticus, the book of Numbers, the book of Deuteronomy, okay, which are the 5 books of the Torah, where these Amalekite Khazars, these, say that they're Jews and are not, but are liars, right? Donald Trump is no longer a Judeo-Christian, okay? He converted to Judaism back in 2018, 2019, okay? Isaiah 19, right? Verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. Okay? But the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, first he's going to do this. Isaiah 19 and 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay? This is making reference to America. City against city, kingdom against kingdom. Okay? Is not the United States government against sanctuary. Salaki for that interruption. Okay? Now, as I was saying before, America is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay? Wherefore also our Lord was crucified. Right? Like it says in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. Okay, so the Most High is going to set these people against one another. They're going to fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor. Okay, this is going to be civil unrest and national emergency. Like the young woman had said earlier in the video, they're bringing about all of this. It's called, what is it, hyper crisis? What was it? Damn, I forgot the name of the terminology that they use. Polycrisis, right? Where you have all of these different. Let's go look up polycrisis right quick. Polycrisis. Okay. Wow. Let me type it in. Man, come on, man. God damn. P-O-L. Polycrisis. Okay. Definition. A polycrisis refers to a situation where multiple interconnected crises interact and amplify each other, creating a complex and challenging environment that is difficult to manage. It's not just the simultaneous occurrence of various problems, but rather the way these issues interact and exacerbate the overall situation, making it more severe than the sum of its parts, according to the Cascade Institute. The interconnectedness, crises in different domains, economic, social, environmental, political, etc., are not isolated but are linked and influence each other. Amplification. One crisis can worsen another, creating a feedback loop where the overall impact is greater than the individual crises alone. Complexity. The interactions between crises make it difficult to identify clear causes and solutions, and traditional approaches to problem solving may be insufficient. Uncertainty. The interconnected nature of crises create a high level of uncertainty and makes it challenging to predict future developments. Okay? Then it gives you everything that they've been throwing at us for the last 6 months. Okay? At least. Right? The COVID-19 pandemic has started a health crisis, right? Blah, blah, blah. Climate change, whatever. A major driver of extreme weather events, resource scarcity, and social instability, right? Social instability, financial instability, creating a complex web of interconnected problems. War in Ukraine, right? War in Khazaria, the land of the Amalekite Khazars, aka the Edomites, aka the Caucasians. The Ukraine is home of the Caucasus Mountains. Okay, Caucasians is made reference to so-called white people. So they have a crisis in their own homeland, right? Which doesn't make any sense. The war has had global consequences, including energy crises, food shortages, and geopolitical instability, exacerbating existing challenges. See? Right? It calls for a systemic approach. It suggests that solutions require a holistic approach that considers the interactions between different crises. Yeah, their holistic approach, like the young woman said earlier in the video, okay, is to push the NOAHIDE laws, okay, upon the people, right? The NOAHIDE laws list, the truth about the NOAHIDE laws. Let's go into it. See if I can find you a video concerning the NOAHIDE laws, something quick. Okay. The 7 NOAHIDE laws. Right. These are the NOAHIDE laws, the 7 rules for a perfect world. This is what they want to do. Okay. Let me see, which one should I use? I'll use this one. Nah, what the hell, man? Wow. Just take me back all the way out of the whole thing. You see that shit? Wow.
So keep in mind that it doesn't really work that way. It's not Jews telling non-Jews what to do.
Yeah, it is.
It's God telling human beings what to do. God is the creator of heaven and earth. God created all human beings.
Yeah. Tell us about the Jewish Learning Institute. Whatever. Okay. Wrong video. Ain't anybody trying to hear this, dude. It's bullshit. All right. 7 Noahide's laws list. Can I get that?
According to Jewish tradition, there are 7 ancient laws which serve as the basis for civilized society. I'll list them in the description below. These laws are seen as applying universally to all of humanity, not just Jews. They're called the Noahide laws because tradition says they were given in their fullness to Noah after the flood. Now, according to Judaism, Gentiles don't have to keep the law of Moses, but they are required to keep the Noahide laws. And a non-Jew who keeps them is considered a righteous Gentile, or simply a Noahide. Now, are these laws found in the Bible? Well, not as a list, and certainly not as given to Noah. This is actually an idea that comes from the Talmud, not Scripture. The first 6 laws come from different parts of the Bible, but the 7th doesn't. So Christianity doesn't recognize the extra-biblical concept of the Noahide laws.
Okay. So let's go get a list of some of this stuff in the Babylonian Talmud that he was talking about. Because I got a picture of the Babylonian Talmud. Let me see. Where is it at? Because I got that picture. I had to take a picture of it. I was like, what? Let me see. Where is it at? Let's see. Babylonian Talmud. Just trying to recognize. There it is. Boom. 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 Check this out. This is in the Babylonian Talmud, right? Okay. Right? Hold on. Now, they look at Gentiles as Goyim, right? The individuals that call themselves Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, right? Synagogue means house, so it's house of Satan. They worship Satan, the creature more than the creator, right? Even the best of Goyim should all be killed. Anyway, right? All children of Goyim are animals. Wow. Remember, you're a Gentile. If you're not a Jew, you're a Gentile. This is the way Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, set up his wicked kingdom over in a land that doesn't belong to them. That's the reason why Gabal Abdul Nasser in 1956, the president of Egypt, stated on television back then, because back in television was new, right? And he stated on television that there will never be peace in the Middle East. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's go get the picture where he said that. Let's get the picture where he said that. It's a picture. I took that picture. I made sure I got that one. Just gotta find it where I can show it to you right quick. Am I going the right way? I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I think so. Let me see. Nope. Let me go back the other way. So like here for all of this. But yeah, I was going to go down the list of the Noahide laws. Yeah. I mean, not so much as the Noahide laws, but on the Goyim, you know, because a lot of people don't understand what Goyim is. They're what the Jews call a Gentile. Alrighty. I'm just trying to see if I can find that picture of Abdul Nasser, what he said back in the 1950s. If I can find it. Damn, I know it's in here. It's in here. I see it all the time. You know, because I said I was going to make a poster board of it. Okay. I must have went past it then. But anyway, let's go ahead and check this out. This is in the Jewish Talmud. This is the Bible of the individuals pushing the Noahide laws, like the young woman said, where you're going to be put to death for being gay. You're going to be put to death for being part of the LGBTQ plus I1 and all of that other bullshit. Okay? Okay. Gentiles, Goyim, are not humans. They're beasts. Hold on. Hold on. This is what they think about you. A Jew may violate but not marry a non-Jew girl. So rape is condoned, right? Gentile Goy girls are in a state of nida, filth, right? So Gentile girls are filthy from birth, right? Sanhedrin. A Jew may have sex with a child as long as the child is less than 9 years old. As long as the child is less than 9 years old. This is in their Jewish Talmud, man. If I were you, I would take a screenshot of this. Okay? Because they're going to take all this information down, man. Okay? Sanhedrin, if a goy hits a Jew, he must be unalived. Okay? Now you understand Donald Trump bringing back the death penalty, right? Because in actuality, all the Israeli people are also American citizens because they're all Edomites, Caucasians, from the Ukraine and the Caucasus Mountains, Khazaria, the homeland of Amalek, right? Okay, hold on. When a Jew murders a Gentile, there will be no death penalty. Okay? So if you switch to Judaism, you could get away with first-degree murder, right? Yeah. Hold on. If you eat with a goy, it is the same as eating with a dog. Wow. These motherfuckers really truly do not like you. Do you understand? If a Jew finds an object lost by a Gentile, it does not have to be returned. Okay? This is the wickedness of these goddamn people, man. Gentiles prefer sex with cows. Okay? This is in the Ish Bible. This is their Bible, man. These are laws in their Bible. Okay? Jews may use lies to circumvent a Gentile. Okay? Okay, so they can legally tell you a lie to your face. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Let's go find some more dirt on these faggots, man. Pedophilia is condoned as even commanded by the Ish holy book called the Talmud. The Talmud, take a screenshot. You better take a screenshot. I'm telling you. Okay? Talmud is considered the highest authority in the Ish belief system, more authoritative than the Holy Bible itself. A JOO may marry a 3-year-old girl, specifically 3 years old and a day. In the biblical context concerning marriage is to have sex. Okay? Now, read the caption. Pedophilia is condoned, even commanded. Okay? Hold on. A Jew may have with a child as long as the child is over 9 years old. Okay? It has to be a child. When a grown-up man has intercourse with a little girl, it is nothing. For when the girl is less than 3 years old, it is as if one had puts the finger into the eye. Tears come to the eye again and again. So does virginity come back to the little girl under 3 years. When a small boy has intercourse with a grown woman, he makes her as a girl who is injured by a piece of wood. A splinter, right? Okay, they condone this shit. Hold on, this is in their Bible, man. Thus, the Talmud teaches that having intercourse with a little girl of less than 3 years old and a day is of no more effect on her than if she gets poked in the eye, and her virginity will grow back again. Also, for an adult-ish woman to seduce little boys is of no more consequence than if the Jewess had injured herself with a wooden object. Okay. These are part of the NOAHIDE laws and the new laws that the young woman at the beginning of the video was referring to under Project Esther. Okay? Go read Project Esther yourself if you don't believe it. Okay? These people are insane. Okay? I woke up this morning and I had to go and take out my anger out on these individuals because they're ridiculous. Okay, these laws, this is ridiculous. These are okay. Come on, man. Really? This is what these people believe, man. And then when we tell you, think we lying to your face. You think we like we doing something wrong to you. They ain't really like that. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Okay, that was about the Doge and what Doge is about. Let's go back. Make America 1932 again. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find that picture about the Egyptian president back in 1956, what he said. It's in here because I got it. What he said, yeah. He shocked the entire world. Okay, back then, because in 1948, they were trying to convince the entire world that they were God's chosen people. Okay, that they stole our land, the land of the Israelites. Uh-oh. That's what they did, is they stole our land, the land of the Israelites, the land of our people. Okay. It's trying to find that picture, man. It's I got it buried in here up under all kind of different stuff. Okay. Let me see. I'm just trying to find it. I know. But he said that there will never be peace in the Middle East, right? And they asked him, why do you believe that? He said, because the real Jews left here black and came back white. It's in here. I know it. I got that picture. I made sure I had a freeze frame on that shit. I had to get it. Because, I mean, I'm like, wow, man, these people are completely insane, man. Right? Check this out. Boom. Is this not the truth? B.B. Mikulski controls America. Why the United States can never stop being evil and wicked. All of your elected officials serve the same master. Okay? Had to throw that in there. Okay? Real shit. I had to do it. All right, now, it's in here. It's in here. Order out of chaos. Everything, man. I mean, these people have such a huge conspiracy against the peoples of the world to control you and to destroy you from off the face of the earth that it doesn't make any sense. These people have a perpetual hatred for you that's going to last until they are virtually and eventually destroyed by the hand of the Most High God, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, let's see. It's in here. It's in here. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. I'm starting to recognize the pictures. Either that or I went past it. I don't think I did, though. Yeah, man. Yes, this is my there it is. Book of receipts. Boom. Right? Here it is right here. Right? Mainstream narrative is beyond disingenuous. They left black. The war for Israel. When he was asked about peace in the Middle East, the late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdul Nasser, stated, "The Jews will never be able to live here in peace because they left here black but came back white." Okay? I had to get this screen frame. I'm sorry it took so long to find it, but I had to get it, man. Y'all need to understand, man. These people don't mean you no good. They don't give a shit about you. They ain't never did. Okay, check this out. Okay? The same government that invaded you, kidnapped you, raped you, tortured you, enslaved you, miseducated you, starved you, lynched you, infected you, Jim Crowed you, drafted you, redlined you, imprisoned you, cares about your health? Really? Yeah, okay. Come on now. Alrighty, let me see. I think that's pretty much it, man. I didn't want to go too far about the videos. Okay. Let's go here. Right? Okay. Compact Bible Dictionary, right? Where the Edomites came from. Edomites, the nation and its people who were the descendants of Esau. He founded the country, so his name is equated with Edom. Genesis chapter 25, verse 30 through 30 and 36. Genesis chapter 36, verse 1 through 8. Okay? The country which also called Mount Seir, or Mount Seir, which was the name of the territory in which the Edomites lived. The kingdom of Edom was founded during the 13th century BC, according to archaeological evidence. In the process of about 4 centuries, the government of Edom changed from one under tribal chiefs to a monarchy. Saul fought against the Edomites, 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 47. But David conquered them and put garrisons throughout their whole land, right? So King David put them in prison, 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 14. Okay? Judah lost Edom in the reign of Jehoram when she revolted against him, about 847 BC, 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 20 through 22. About 50 years later, Amaziah, the king of Judah, inflicted a severe defeat on the Edomites, 2 Kings chapter 14, verse 7. About 735 BC, Rezin, king of Syria, at war with Judah, captured Eloth and drove the Jews out, 2 Kings chapter 16, verse 6. When Jerusalem was destroyed and Judah depopulated by the Babylonians in 586 BC, the Edomites rejoiced over the affliction of the Judeans and began to take over the southern part of Palestine. Eventually, they penetrated as far north as Hebron. This action intensified the already smoldering hatred between the Jews and Edomites, right? Because the actual Jews are from the tribe of Judah, and the tribe of Judah consists of Negroes because the Son of God comes from the tribe of Judah, okay? From the bloodline of King David, from the bloodline of King Solomon, direct bloodline ascendant through Joseph, his father, right? That's simple. This action intensified the already smoldering hatred between the Jews and Edomites. See Psalms 137, verse 7, Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 12 through 14, and Amos 1 and 11, Obadiah chapter 1, verses 10 through 14. Okay? This is a perpetual hatred. Okay? The Assyrians came in contact with Edom as early as the 7th century BC, when her kings began to penetrate as far south as Palestine. Edom. Edom, along with Judah and her other neighbors, paid tribute to Assyria for many years. She is mentioned many times in the inscription of the kings of Assyria, beginning with Adad-Nirari III, 800 BC, to Ashurbanipal, 686 to 633. Right? Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. See notably Isaiah chapter 34, verse 5 and 6, and Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God. Okay? So you just saw all of the proofs, right? Why they're not going to receive any mercy. Let's go get Psalms 37, Ezekiel 25 and 14. Okay, yeah, let's go get them. Where's my Bible at? Boom. Let's get it. Okay, let's start with Psalms 137, right? 137, right? Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Okay? Because these Edomites, during the occupation of Azareth, America, right, by Amerigo Vespucci, Christopher Columbus, and other Edomite conquistadors came over here during the occupation and sliced open Israelite women from the tribe of Gad, from the tribe of Reuben, and the half tribe of Manasseh, the Cubans. Okay? Real shit. Okay? The Gad is the North American Indians. The tribe of Reuben are the Seminole Indians. The tribe of Manasseh are the Cubans. Okay? And they used to slice the women open, take the baby out, right? After they raped her. Didn't matter if she was pregnant or not. Okay? And smashed the baby against the stones and fed what was left to the dogs. This is the wickedness of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Now, these are the unrighteous laws and decrees that they're passing right before your face. Okay? Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, that they may rob the fatherless. This is exactly what they're doing. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. Right? I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire in the streets. And the hypocritical nation are the Israelites, the wicked 2/3 of our people that refuse to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. They think that and believe that the law is done away with, and they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. You just heard the woman at the beginning of the video, how upset she was about not being able to do what she want to do, wear her hair the way she wants to wear the clothing that she wants to. She can't drive. She can't do this. She can't do that. Okay, these are the unrighteous laws and decrees. But that's the way it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven for women in any way. Okay, and the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth as it is written in Matthew chapter 6, verse 5. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Understand where I'm getting it? All right. So this is going to happen anyway. Okay. And the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is using these modern day Assyrians who are oppressors, these Edomite Caucasians, those that call themselves the JOOs and are not, but do lie. Okay. Okay, to send them against 2/3 of our people. That's the reason why you see immigration, customs, and enforcement coming against the so-called immigrants. Now, since a couple of these ICE agents have lost their lives in the line of duty, they're going to implement the NOAHIDE laws. They're going to implement the death penalty. Okay, by firing squad, you're going to get the death penalty by hanging at the gallows. You're going to get the death penalty by lethal injection. You're going to get the death penalty by electrocution. You're going to get the death penalty by decapitation. Okay? Because they're going to say that all of the other death penalties are inhumane. And the most clean, efficient, and humane way to do it is by decapitation. Thereby you can use their internal organs to help others that need a kidney or need a lung or need lungs, that need a stomach, that need other body parts. Okay? That's how they're going to position that. Okay? Okay, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 25, right? Verse 12, right? Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them, right? Now, you just saw the Babylonian Talmud. Is this not offense and revenge? By calling you a goy and a Gentile, and they can just do whatever the fuck they want to do? Okay? Yeah. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. Right? And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Why? In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast one of them. Right? Did they like it says in Joel chapter 3, verse 3, verse 2, Salakia. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, of Yahweh's judgment, and will plead with them there. And to plead in the biblical context means he's going to fight to destroy you, to judge you. With them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right? In 1948, they parted land. Okay? They're right now, they're still parting the land. Okay? They moved the United States Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Okay? They took Golan Heights and split Golan Heights between Israel and America and called part of that Golan Heights Trump Towers. Yeah. Okay. Now they got Trump Gaza. Once America is completely destroyed by thermonuclear destruction, they intend to recreate Las Vegas. Okay. Bigger, better, and stronger. Build back better, right? Okay. In the land of Gaza. Okay? Real shit. And they have cast lots for my people, and given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Right? Back to Obadiah, chapter 1. Right? Verse 12. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 12. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yep, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Did they not come and steal natural resources? That's what they do. In the name of manifest destiny and in the name of their false god, Jebus crossed. Right? Neither shouldst thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldst thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. And that is exactly what these Edomites are afraid of. Revenge for all of the wickedness that these devils have done unto the children of Israel for centuries. Right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 41, verse 5. The children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. What do you think these Edomites talk about when you ain't around? Sure, they'll pretend to be your friend in public, but when you ain't around, you're everything but your name. You're the N-word, you're the black spasm, you're ignorant, you're stupid, you're everything that's negative in their sight when you ain't around. Ecclesiasticus chapter 41, verse 6. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish. What is the inheritance of the sinners' children? They live off the benefit of the land that was stolen by their forefathers, of these Edomite conquistadors. Right? Let's go get more proof of that. Psalms chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. America, Amerigo Vespucci. Colombia, Christopher Columbus. Africa, Leo Incipio Africanus. Asia, Leo Incipio Asiaticus. For starters. See? Back to Ecclesiasticus, chapter 49, or nope, not chapter 49, it was 41, right? Right? Verse 6, the inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. And it's being perpetually reproached right now. Right? Verse 7, the children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. We didn't do anything to you guys. That was a long time ago. We didn't do anything. This is what they say, right? But the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai looks on the seed of their forefathers and the inheritance of sinners' children. You're the children of sinners. Do you not try to push biblical law as precedent in law of the land? Right? Is this not what you're trying to push? So, if you want to live by the law, you're going to die by the law. It is that simple. Okay? With your NOAHIDE laws, right? Anyway, let's go over here to Amos chapter 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, he did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Now, we just ran a laundry list in the book of Obadiah of all of his offenses. He did pursue his brother with the sword. He's still doing it. Passing executive orders for death penalty. Death penalty for drug dealers. What the actual fuck? Really? Who is the greatest drug dealer in the world? America. Through their pharmaceutical industry. They push drugs on every goddamn body. Okay? What do you mean? You're the drug dealer. The CIA has been dealing drugs since the 60s. What do you mean? Who puts drugs into the neighborhoods of the blacks and so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans? Who puts a liquor store directly across the street from a church in these very self-same communities? Okay? You make it very, very difficult to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And then you press for death penalty for drug dealers. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity. These bastards don't have any pity for us. They're passing death penalties for us, right? And his anger did tear perpetually. They have a perpetual hatred. They're moving out of the cities and suburbs and creating whites-only communities, right? And his anger did tear perpetually, and kept his wrath forever. They're always going to have a perpetual hatred for you, Jake. There's nothing they can do. It's biblical. Okay? It always stems back to the birthright. You stole our birthright. We ain't stole a goddamn thing. You sold it. You sold the birthright for one morsel of meat. This is the reason why the Most High God is not, besides all that, is not going to forgive Esau, Edom. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. The birthright and the blessing go together because they are one and the same. Okay? We didn't steal anything from you. You sold it. Okay? If you feel like we supplanted anything, our mother supplanted you. Rebekah, the wife of Isaac, the son of Abraham, the son of promise. Right? The son of, okay. The son of Abraham, friend to the Most High God. His best friend. Okay? See? So whenever you get done, you did this to yourself. You sold your birthright. Immortality in the kingdom of heaven for the modern day equivalent to a pot roast. Red pottage and lentils put in an oven after 3 hours becomes a fucking deer meat pot roast. Okay? Whenever you get done, man. Boiling water with lentils, vegetables, right? In an hour or so, what do you got? Deer meat stew. Okay. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Okay? So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai ain't never going to forgive you. You Edomite, Assyrian, Caucasian devils. So he's giving you a charge to come against the hypocritical nation to destroy 2/3 of the people that he doesn't want in the kingdom of heaven to start with. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone simultaneously. Right? destroying you for putting your hand on the apple of his eye, and destroying 2/3 of the people that he doesn't feel that he deserves, that deserve salvation. What is it? Zephaniah 2:8, I think it is. No, it's Zechariah 2:8. Right? Zechariah 2:8, I think it is. Yeah, Zechariah 2:8. Boom. Right? Verse 7, Zechariah chapter 2, verse 7. Deliverest thyself, O Zion, the memorial of Israel, that dwellest in the daughter with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that touches you toucheth the apple of his eye. Okay? For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. We're servants to these Edomite Caucasians, the Assyrian, the rod of God's anger, and the rod of his indignation towards the hypocritical nation, right? The hypocritical nation, once again, are Israelites, right? They turn against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, saying that the law is done away with, which allows them to go along and do whatever, whenever, for whatever reason they want, just because that's what they feel like doing today. Okay? Now, and ye shall know that the Lord of hosts had sent me. Okay? So, as it is written in Revelation, because I know I'm going on and on and on and on and on, blah, 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 whatever, okay. Okay, Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. Who are they? The elect, the hidden ones found in Psalm 83. Okay, those individuals that the Most High had chosen, that fear the Most High God and think upon his name here in these last days. The Spirit of life, which is the Holy Spirit, the Rahawa Kakwadash, right? The Comforter of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. This great fear is being felt by individuals pushing unrighteous laws and unrighteous decrees and grievous laws that they prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And the fatherless are those individuals based on a system that they set up back in the 1960s, 50s and 60s, based on welfare recipients. Okay? HUD housing. Welfare benefits per child. You get a certain amount of money per month on a check. Okay? And rob the fatherless of manhood. Rob the fatherless, the children under these women, okay, of having a man in the house to teach them in the way that they should go. When a person is being raised in a two-parent household, they have a sense of morality and a sense of purpose. And the vast majority of Gen X, Gen Z did not have this. Then they didn't have the benefit of a dual parent household. Okay? For the most part. Okay? That's the reason why you have the world as it's twisted upside down today. Although the Israelites have become cultural icons concerning what they wear, how they dance, because we're the salt of the earth, as the Most High had stated when he sent his only begotten Son to say these things in the book of Matthew. Thou art the salt of the earth. And, you know, if that salt has lost its savor, how then should it be salted? It is better to be cast out into the draft because it's useless, right? Roughly paraphrased, you know. But yeah, see, and the great fear that fell upon them being the Edomites, which saw them, us, righteous men standing in boldness before the face of such as have afflicted us, that make no account of our labors. Great fear fell upon them which saw them. See? But anyway, the video's been on there. I've been on there too long. Wow, damn, wow. Sorry. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rahawah Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that have been scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Before I leave, Revelation chapter 3, verse 9, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are the JEWS's, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Okay? Look at the picture. 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 Okay? Shalom.